cover. As we are moving on to a new episode, and today we are talking about reasoning with regret. Yes, they say show me a man without regret and I'll show you a man with memory loss. So what is regret? Regret is a self-focused negative emotion about something that has happened or have been done by us. We feel bad because we didn't or did do something. Regrets fall into numerous categories, including education, career, romance, parenting, the self, having or not having children, and leisure. So how long does regret last? Regret is not limited to time. We can experience it immediately or just about any time later. We are most likely to regret the things we didn't do. Studies show the top 5 regrets of the dying are: 1. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. 2. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. 3. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. 4. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And 5th, I wish I had let myself be happier. Regretful feelings can cause depression, diminished focus, low self-esteem, feelings of helplessness, lack of sleep, lack of appetite, headaches, chest pain, shortness of breath, as well as heart disease. So what can one do about it? Experts suggest acknowledge your feelings, avoid obsessing about the regret, assess how you will cope, give yourself time to heal from a past regret, create a new set of goals, consider seeing a therapist. They also say the two saddest word in any language is if only, because of regret. All you have to do is substitute it with the words next time and the paradigm shifts. It will give us a lift instead of a drag. This will prevent us from regretting yesterday and living a life so tomorrow we won't have to regret today. So let's go and see what people have to say about it. Tell us, what do regrets mean to you?
I think that we all have regrets in life, that sometimes we can dwell on them, sometimes it can be hard to move forward with regret, and they are part of everyone's life.
So how does one deal with regrets?
It can be really hard. I think sometimes you have to face your actions and then try to learn to move on. You have to know that God forgives everything, and whatever you may have done in the past, that you can move on from it.
What message would you give to the world?
That everybody can have another chance, that we can learn to live with our regrets, and we can learn to make our life better.
Sally, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tell us, what do regrets mean to you?
So for me, regret is about pain that lingers within your mind. Effectively, it's when something bad you've done something bad that you wish you could change, but unfortunately you can't, because obviously the past is history and can't be changed.
So how can one deal with regrets?
So I would suggest there's 2 things at least that you can do. The first thing is talk to a friend about something that you feel regretful about, and ask them for advice on how you can process that. And then the second thing you might want to try is prayer, if that works for you. Try praying about it with God and seeing if you can listen and discern what God has to say about it to you, if anything, and help you to process that regret.
What message would you give to the world?
I would say to the world, don't let regret consume you. It's very easy to let regret consume you in this day and age. We're encouraged to keep things within, but often a pain shared is a pain halved. And so talk about it with a friend, talk about it with someone you trust, if you can, and you'll find that you'll be able to let regret go, because you don't want to find that you are consumed with regret.
Cameron, you're amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, what does regret mean to you?
Well, regret's an emotion where you feel real down when you've actually lost something that's that you work so hard to get. You may be trying to get into a relationship and you lose it because you either did something wrong, or you haven't given back to what they're supposed to be giving, so you regret that. Or education, when you haven't done enough work at school and you regret not getting your exam so you can get a job or anything like that. It's just an emotion that makes you feel really upset and really down sometimes.
So how does one deal with it?
Well, try to do your best all the time and live life to the full, please. Don't have any regrets if you can help it, but just keep going. Just keep trying and trying your best.
What message would you give to the world, Brett?
Try not to regret anything, and if you do regret something, try harder to fix it in the next time. So that's about it.
Brett, as always, a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Tell us, what does regret mean to you?
Yeah, regrets, I think everybody has them, because when you make a mistake, especially big mistakes, you get that horrible sort of gnawing feeling, like almost in your soul, that you've really messed up. And I've messed up quite a few times in my life, regretted a lot of things. But I think the good thing about regret is that it helps you to learn. I've regretted things, to do with my relationships, with my family and my friends and previous girlfriends. But I've always been able to learn from that. And it's kind of made me the person that I am. I like to think a better person, a wiser person.
So how does one deal with it?
So when you make, I normally associate regret with making a mistake personally. So when you're in the moment, it can be quite devastating to make. I've made financial mistakes, for example, and I've regretted it, and in the moment, it's kind of soul destroying. But I've always thought that, everything happens for a reason, and I don't want to make that mistake again. So if you do have those regrets, that's the takeaway you can take away from that situation, that you've learnt your lesson, and if somebody has done you some kind of wrong, then you know that there's a certain character trait to watch out for. So I think it's a negative, but it can be positive as well.
What message would you give to the world, Tom?
Just don't beat yourself up if you make mistakes, and regret is just a natural part of the process of making mistakes and errors of judgment. So, it is what it is. Move on.
Tom, that's been a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sanjay.
Guys, we come to the end of this episode and we've been talking about reasoning with regrets. And when we say we regret something, it means that we disagree with our past decision making. It turns out the things we are most likely to regret are the things that we didn't do. The best thing we have seen that regret motivates us to correct our behavior, even though we all have to live with the past decisions we have made. And one author puts it beautifully, and she says, to wish you hadn't done a thing is not a good feeling. To be filled with remorse about the thing can hold you back from truly living. You can't go back and change the past. By doing this, you're making mistakes last. Learn what you can and move on. Today is the breaking of a new dawn. We all fall down at times, but regret should not be the chime. Start again this very day and don't let yesterday's regrets stay.